Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Nostalgia Podcast. I am your host, Gina Rona, joined as always by.
What's going on, everybody? It's Dave.
And today we are going to cover a couple movies that Dave and I really love and watch every Halloween quite religiously. For me, that's going to be Hocus Pocus. For Dave, that's going to be
Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives.
All right. Let's get into it. So, you want to set the stage or you want me to?
You can go for it.
Okay. So, mine, Hocus Pocus, and I want to be clear, I'm referring to the first one. So that's 1993. We're talking about a time when Jurassic Park and Miss Doubtfire was the kind of top go-to films. Whitney Houston, I'll Always Love You was all over the radio. And Womp by Tag Team, if you remember them. Most likely, and I'd have to go look at photos, Dave, I probably had the curtained hair like everyone else did, sort of the long hair parted, Leonardo DiCaprio style, like every kid.
No, not me.
No, all my friend group will have that same almost parted bowl cut looking thing going on. So that's where kind of I was and what was happening with Hocus Pocus for me. What about for you?
For Hocus Pocus, let's see. I remember I was definitely a kid when I watched it. I liked the cat, and I liked what was his name? The zombie character.
Yes, I never remember his name, but he's awesome for the handful of minutes we get to see him.
Those were my favorite parts of it. And then I got to admit, the music was pretty good.
Yeah. That movie, and for the record, folks, I'm going to hand it over to Dave here in a second, and he'll take us away on our trip through Jason Land. But Hocus Pocus had really classic Halloween vibes for me. I mean, it took place in Salem, Massachusetts, so New England, fall time, of course, and it was very 90s. Okay, very, very 90s. We're talking everything from the tropes being used, the transplant from California being called Hollywood by a bunch of kids don't even know him, the very generic bullies, the clothes they were wearing, the slang. Like, this is a movie where the phrase jerk face was thrown around a lot, or what's the 411, or take a chill pill. Later, dude, check out the new cross trainers. You could close your eyes and know this was a 90s film just by listening to the verbiage being used.
And you also got the point where it was a virgin lighting the candle, and none of us could be caught being a virgin.
No, it's funny. It's a Disney flick, and they allowed that in there. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, I think about that every time I watch it. I'm like, man, this feels a little risque for Disney, especially back then, but they let it in. I will say this, too, about it being a Disney flick. There was singing in it, right? A lot of Disney flicks to this day have singing. It wasn't over the top. Like a lot of Disney films released in the last even decade, like some of them have so much damn music that it's almost like a musical, which is kind of annoying because I still want to watch the thing I came to watch and not just, again, it be a musical rendition of whatever act they're in. So that's something I do like about it. The other stuff I absolutely have to say about this film, Bette Midler, one of the Sanderson sisters, who's an absolute legend, carried this film. It's not anything that I'm going to look you in the eye and argue that this is Schindler's List quality filmmaking here. It's a fun, easy watch, has memorable characters, at least as far as the Sanderson sisters and young Thora Birch as Danny, the sister. Everyone else was kind of forgettable. Again, minus the zombie and the talking cat, which for being early 90s did not look bad. That's shocking in and of itself. But it's a fun movie. It's an easy watch. The family and I, we watch it every year. That's a tradition for us.
It's a popcorn film.
It is. It's a very easily consumable flick from where I'm standing. Well, Dave, tell us about Jason Lives. And I told you before the show, that's one of the Jason movies that I haven't watched. But I've watched plenty of Jason, at least have an opinion on Jason. So tell us about this one.
Well, funny enough, yours is a family-based movie. This one is actually more family-oriented.
Is it really?
Yeah, well, I mean, it only has one F-bomb.
Okay.
We do that on a lot of movies. Of course, Hocus Pocus has none of those.
Yeah, 0 F-bombs in Hocus Pocus.
But it was also the first one to not have nudity that you could see because they wanted to have a wider audience.
Oh, so that was part of the producing of this film, is they're trying to go a little wider.
So, I mean, still a horror movie, but more family-friendly out of the Friday the 13th.
When did this one come out?
Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, came out in 1986.
Okay. So would you say and you watch a lot more horror films than I do. Would you say that this is, as the slasher flick trend is kind of coming to a close, and so Jason, they're trying to pivot to be more general horror audience? Do you think that's what's going on there? Is it influenced by other things of the era?
Well, it started out being influenced that a lot of the slasher films did. Psycho kind of started the slasher thing. A lot of people argue and say it was one before that, but the whole butcher knife and the shower scene is a considered slasher. But this is the time when it was just on a roller coaster and just moving.
So you would say this was sort of the peak Jason period?
Not peak, but a good motion of everybody getting into it.
Nice.
So more the late 80s, you start seeing a lot more slasher films.
Nice. That's something that's really interesting when you look at the Jason and the Freddy movies, because they were responsible for some of the beginning parts of that movement back when it was still a little more niche, the hack and slash. You could tell, like, as they go along, looking at the actors and actresses they got to sign up to do these films reflected the growing popularity of that genre.
That, and I mean, obviously, as these movies go on, they get more campy, more comical. All of them do.
Yeah.
But they had to revive this one. Number 5 was like the fake Jason.
Fake Jason.
You remember that one?
No.
It was like a copycat.
Oh, okay.
It was the Jason that had the blue on the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a copycat.
So this is kind of a relaunch of sorts.
Kind of a relaunch. That's why they resurrected him the way they did. And this is where we get the undead zombie, supernatural killing Jason.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So he's brought back by lightning in the cemetery. And that's kind of a nod to the Universal monsters like Frankenstein. They wanted more fun in this movie. They wanted to be a self-aware kind of tone. So that's why it's more of a horror campiness in this one versus the others that were a little more serious.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, David? And again, this is me as someone who's not as into horror as you are, but you mentioned classic monsters, right? Do you consider Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers to be in the same vein as your werewolf man, your Draculas, those type of characters? Would you consider them classic movie monsters?
No.
Really?
No, your Universal monsters are the Universal monsters.
So you do
Dracula,
distinguish.
Wolfman, Invisible Man, the Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Those are all in their own little category.
Okay. I just had to ask. I was curious.
No, these are slashers. So it's a different category.
Okay, so you're saying effectively putting Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and I don't know who I'm missing, but kind of in their own bucket.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fascinating because if you compare the two, there's been a lot more movies from those three franchises than there has been successful Dracula and Frankenstein Invisible Man movies.
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot, but is there as many successful takes on them as there are these three franchises? Jason in particular. Hell, there's been 11?
The Universal Monster movies, they made so many of all of those, but the time that they were making those probably wasn't as popular as the slasher films are in the 80s and of today.
Yeah, fair point.
But if you notice, they're remaking those Universal ones.
Or attempting to. Varying degrees of success.
Yeah, so we talked about the music for Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a pretty good rock soundtrack.
Nice.
Because we have Alice Cooper.
Yes.
He has 2 songs in the movie. He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask, and then Teenage Frankenstein. He also did a music video on MTV where it's him versus Jason, just to promote the movie.
That's pretty cool.
It opens up with a James Bond parody. Jason walks across the screen like James Bond would do.
Mm-hmm.
Then he turns and slashes the camera. Parody towards that. It's got 18 kills, one of the highest at the time for a Friday 13th movie. A lot of the blood and gore they wanted to cut back on to give it an R rating. So it had a lot of gore, apparently. I haven't seen the uncut versions.
Damn, they had to cut back to get to R?
Yeah. Without nudity and with one F-bomb.
Wow. Isn't it amazing how the standards for what makes an R film and R film versus PG-13, like how those have shifted over the years.
So there's bootleg cuts you can get that are in circulation, and it is the uncut versions where you get a little more of that gore. I've never seen one. Knowing about it now, I'd kind of like to get my hands on
I
one.
have no doubt.
That's one that I have to watch every year. It's one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies. And to me, that's another popcorn flick. Just get popcorn and enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, Dave, we already knew coming into this one it wasn't going to be a super long episode. We want to just put those out there because they're things that we enjoy regularly, and it is influenced by the season, by Halloween, by the fall time. So that's phenomenal. I would encourage anyone listening to this on whichever platform you're listening to on, comment, particularly on YouTube or wherever you're listening. I would love to know. I'd love to hear from y'all. What are those handful of movies that you watch around the Halloween time of the year? Because for most people, it's different for a lot of different reasons. It could be personal, could be family, could just be something, nostalgia, hence the name of the podcast, that you're reaching to back to your childhood. But I would love to know about it. We would love to know about it. So by all means, communicate. Let us know.
Did you want to do a rating?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. I wrote that down. Give me yours.
All right, before I give the rating to this, I know we forgot the rating for TMNT.
Oh, yeah.
So we normally do 1 out of 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and do the TMNT real quick since we forgot to put it in.
Okay.
I give that a 4.
Dave, I also give it a 4.
Okay. And this is going back to, of course, it's nostalgia for us. So we are a little biased on our ratings. Mm-hmm. We're not actual critics, but we also can't give it a perfect score because that's for greater actual films down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th, I give it a 3.5. Friday the 13th Part 6. 3.5. Your Hocus Pocus, I give a 3.
Okay. So I haven't watched that particular Jason, which I was very transparent about, but that's where I tend to place Jason movies, generally in that 3.5 range, because when I watch them, I do enjoy them, but they're not my favorite thing, right? Hocus Pocus, something I do very much enjoy. Still giving it a 3.5 because I have to acknowledge that outside of the wonderful Bette Midler, the rest of the cast is a little bit flat. I know that it's not award-winning material, but it's something I enjoy watching. But being objective, yeah, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Well, we're pretty close in all that. And if you can't tell, we both really enjoy Halloween. It's one of our favorite times of the year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right. And with that, I'm signing off. It's been fun. Can't wait to catch you on the next one.
All right. Now have a happy Halloween, everybody.